You know, we all have our animals.
Like a Power Ranger, you know?
Right. Sirach 3:18, or Ecclesiastes 3:18. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
They themselves are beasts. That's what this does. This actually cuts you and lets you know that you're real unclean. Because everything that goes against this is unclean.
Ecclesiastes 3:18. Right.
This whole way of society is unclean.
I'm going to jump to the 20th verse. It says, all go into one place. All are of the dust again. Because you said he's returning from the animals, which they're not actually going to receive that salvation that the elect are going to receive. But they're going to rejoice. I mean, look at the place of there's a rabbit that lives in the grass. Look at this little tiny ass patch of grass. There's a rabbit that lives in there. These animals, they are going to rejoice when Esau's kingdom is destroyed. You know,
roughly curved. I remember a script talking about the trees would rejoice that day too. The trees would sing.
But as far as the animals, you know, when they die, they're reincarnated
as animals.
As animals,
not humans.
So you don't come back as an animal if you're a human, or if you're a woman, you come back as a man. That's blasphemy.
Nope.
But like I said, there's everybody here, we deal with all uncleanness all the time. If you got a woman, there's times you're unclean because she's in your bed and she's unclean.
Or if you eat fast food, you're unclean.
You touch the doorknob of a leper. In fact, all of us, we're in a form of leprosy because we're supposed to be dark.
Right.
And so most people that are southern and northern have lightened up, and that's a form of leprosy. So we're all unclean. In fact, John the Baptist, did he not wear a camel garment for his clothing?
Yeah, how was shy. He washed the disciples' feet, showing how unclean he was, and to show by that, you know, the humility that you have to have, especially back then, because you know they didn't have some nice feet.
And he was there to save them too. The one that was going to save them washed their feet. They said we should be washing their feet. But that goes.
And he was sinless. There was no scripture that said Yahushua ever sinned. And that's why he was the perfect sacrifice. And that's what this whole Passover is about. This whole Passover is about the perfect sacrifice, which in ancient times, when we were in Egypt, that was that sacrificial lamb, and we put that blood on the doorpost. Now today, that sacrificial lamb is Yahushua. And we're performing that Passover just like they did at the Last Supper. They performed that Passover, which now they do Easter. They threw Easter bunnies, all this stuff in the mix. But really what it goes back to is the Passover. You know, and that's what that's what Easter came from. That's what they tainted it with heathenistic beliefs, beginning with Constantine.
Actually, Egypt. It goes back as far as Egypt.
Because Ishtar was a Babylonian goddess.
Actually, that brings us back to the Sabbath. Like the reason that the Sabbath changed from Sunday to Saturday was because in 313 AD, Constantine wrote the Edict de Milan.
The Sabbath never fell on one day.
Let me ask you this: who was in rulership prior to Constantine? The Romans, right?
Yeah.
That calendar, the Sunday through Saturday calendar.
It was the Julian first, and then the Gregorian is what they call it now.
Matter of fact, Saturday is a god, is a Greek god. Saturnalia, right? A Greek god, right?
Saturn.
Yeah, Saturn.
Saturnalia. And Saturnalia was the Roman, and Saturn.
In fact, I just learned Julius Caesar, he used to paint his face red, worshiping Jupiter. Do you know your president today? They call him Cheeto Puff. You know what I'm saying?
The point being for the Sabbath falls on the new moon. So each month comes on the new moon.
Let me get the scripture to back that up. This is Sirach 43 and verse 6. You want to break this down for y'all? He made the moon also to serve in her season.
I mean, it's a servant. It's not even a god like people worship it. And it was made to serve us. We're not to serve it. That's also why the Edomites' truth about the universe is also off, because they try to tell you that the sun is the center of the universe when actually the earth is.
for a declaration of times and a sign of the world.
A declaration meaning that he declares it for all time, everlasting. So that sign will always be for us. So his sign, the sign of the Sabbath is the moon. See, Moses, when he went to Egypt, they didn't have a calendar. So what did he go by? The laws were given to him in the wilderness. The moon, yeah, it was the new. That's why it's a new moon, the new month. In fact, month goes back to moon.
Literally,
You can still get calendars that have a moon cycle on it.
the Chinese calendar is based off the lunar cycle.
Because even Esau still calculates with the moon and
Yep.
No, they use the other title calendars based on the sun.
right.
Sirach 43, yeah, 6 through 8.
Good, brother.
This is going on in verse 7. It says, from the moon is the sign of feasts. Meaning, you know when that feast is, which, hey, Passover in a form would be a feast. Because
You go off the new moon, which is the first month, right? New month, right? But we know what when Passover is too, because in their month they tell you. Like December, they call it the 12th month, but what does decade mean? 10.
So December is
The 10th month.
even in their own system.
They're telling you what it is, but we don't. We're so ignorant to it, we ignore it.
That's another thing about IUIC too, is they follow the Amalekian Edomites who claim to be Jews in Israel. They're following their same calendar.
Right.
They're doing Sabbath on the same day that IUIC huddles up and does their thing. They're doing the same shit in Israel.
What do you
The
think?
Edomites are.
April Fools. When is April Fools? April's 1st, right? Well, when is the first day of spring by their calendar? The end of March, right? Well, actually, you're in spring right now.
Fulgent.
Yeah, April Fools. You're a month off.
Yeah, you're a bunch of niggas.
This is the actual. This is the declaration of the new year. With nude, is there something new? Is something
So
new in the winter?
that's what Passover is? The declaration?
Death. It
No,
passes over.
It's
Yes,
a memorial.
salvation.
Yeah, because like I said, in Egypt, when we would put that blood on the doorposts, so our firstborn sons wouldn't be killed along with the Egyptians and the Israelites who didn't partake in it.
Because they were considered.
They caught judgment just like they are today. The Israelites who aren't woken up to who they are, and they're not partaking in these customs, trying to do what they can to follow the Heavenly Father, they're gonna be put to death along with Esau.
It's like Samson. Did you see the new Samson? Samson, was it his hair that gave him the strength, or was it keeping the commandment that was given to him? That's the same thing as the blood. Who cares about a sheep blood, a lamb blood? Who cares about it?
So Most High doesn't eat it.
He don't drink blood.
Right.
What it is the act of obedience. Just like if you had a woman and you said, kiss my feet, and she bowed down and kissed your feet, it would give you a feeling some kind of way.
Are you sure the Most High don't eat? Because if the Most High sat down, us have the body.
Yeah, we're gonna eat. But what we're saying though is he says himself in scripture that he don't eat off the flesh of those lambs. That wasn't for his food. See what I'm saying? Those were actually sacrificed. In the sacrifice, that represented people actually. Remember we talked about the beasts?
Yeah.
Yeah, every animal, when you brought a heifer,
It was to cover your blood.
Yeah, you sure
Otherwise, if you weren't doing that, you would be put to death. You'd require your blood at your hands.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to us. Once we fell off from the Old Testament for following the law, statutes, and commandments as a people, there was no more salvation for Israel until Yahushua came. Then that's that blood that's brought up only for the elect. The rest of their blood is still at their hands. You can't go sacrifice a goat no more.